Hey, this is your buddy the Rhino for Survival Skills 101, and this is how badass I am. That's right, I just drank out of the hose. Anyway, it's time for me to change my water in my barrels for the year, and I want to show you how to do it. So check this out. Okay, these are a couple of my 100-gallon water barrels. I have several of these. I'm just going to show you two of them. Like I said, they come in 100 gallons. There's some that come in 50. I like these 100-gallon types. You can fill the water right in here. You can take it out from down below, and then you can drain it from the bottom. I really like this. I got these at a survival store. I don't know what kind they're called. I don't know what brand they are. They didn't say on them. But man, if you see some like these, I would get them because they really work fantastic, especially with the spout at the bottom to get your water out if you need them. Every year I try to change out my water. I'm a little late. It was supposed to be May, June when I change them out, but you know, things happen, so I'm going to change them out today. Show you how to do it. One thing you need to realize is that you need to put a piece of board down and put your barrels on top of your board, because what will happen is chemicals from the floor here will seep into the plastic. So make sure you always have a board underneath all the barrels that you have. Don't leave them on the concrete floor. Anytime you have spouts like this too, make sure that before you fill it full of water that you put plumber's tape around the insides of the thread here and then thread it in there. That way water won't leak out. I didn't put plumber's tape the first time I did it. Water was leaking. So make sure that you have that plumber's tape. It'll keep it nice and sealed and it'll never leak. Okay, now it's time to chlorinate the water. Be sure that you put chlorine, bleach, in with the water, because if you don't, algae's going to grow and you're probably going to die when you drink it. So make sure that you put chlorine in. What you want to do is buy some Clorox here. This Clorox is called sodium hydrochloride. It comes in about 6%. All right, just buy a bottle of Clorox. Now, you want it no scent, right? Don't put any kind of scent in it or all. You just want it plain Clorox. Know this, it takes 8 drops per gallon, okay? And it takes about 800 drops for 100 gallons of water, and that's what I have. Well, if you have a 55-gallon drum, well, you do the math, all right? Well, you know what? That equals out to about 3 tablespoons of Clorox per 100 gallons. Now, could it be more specific? You bet. You could sit and do the math if you wanted to. Me personally, I just know I put 3 tablespoons of Clorox in my water. Do I put it in before or after? I typically put it in before I put the water in. All right. Now, what happens if you put you don't put 3 tablespoons? Maybe you put 2 tablespoons. Is that going to hurt anything? Well, I doubt it, because the water already comes chlorinated, and you need to know that. All right. Our city water has chlorine in it. So if you put 2 tablespoons instead of 3, is it going to hurt it? No. I just make it 3. Could you put 4? I suppose so if you're going to do it for a longer period of time. But since I trade it out every year, I just got it down to a science where I just put 3 tablespoons of Clorox in with my water right before I fill it up. You could also use a dropper if you wanted to. Now this is a half tablespoon dropper. And basically what that equals is 6 droppers to 1 tablespoon. Like I said, there's 3 tablespoons of Clorox in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 18 half teaspoon sized droppers in your water, and that way you can maybe even put a little bit more if you wanted to. You could also, real quick, use some of this Aqua Check. All right, you could put this in your water too and check to see the chlorine level before and after you fill up your water barrels to see if you're comfortable with the amount of chlorine that's in it. Now, when I opened this up for the first time for this year, I smelled it. Man, the water smelled great. It looked great. No problem. So I'm pretty comfortable with 3 tablespoons for every 100 gallons. You might not be, and there's somebody going to be on YouTube freaking out about it, going, you put too much in your water. Or someone's going to go, you put too little in your water. Well, you know, I found my comfortable level, and I'm happy with that. So you need to find your level. So do the math if that's what you want to do, and figure it out. Hey, I want to add a couple more things. You should be changing out your Clorox every year, all right? Don't keep Clorox for more than 1 year because it starts to degrade and it becomes less effective. So when you're changing out your water, you should also go buy new Clorox every single year. Another thing that I've noticed is that Clorox now has a concentrated version of their Clorox. All right, so it's not the 6% anymore. It's like 8.25%. So it's gone up drastically. So that's going to affect your totals in the future for how many tablespoons or drops or whatever that you're going to do to put in here. Just know that if you get this concentrated Clorox, it's going to change it. I didn't know that until I got these, and I was just looking at it and saw that there was a lot more concentration in these than they've had before in the past. But know this, change it out every single year. Somebody on YouTube is going to ask me how much water should I be storing for some kind of apocalyptic event. They say that you need 1 gallon per person per day. That's to drink and that's to clean as well. Well, I have 5, me personally, 5 100-gallon barrels of water. I have 5 people in my family. So if you do the math, I have roughly 90 days of water for all 5 of my family members. Now somebody on Facebook is going to go, that's way too little. All right, you're going to need a way more. Well, you know what? I'm only expecting something for about 90 days. But I also have a lot of Clorox that I'm going to use for any kind of water that I find. Maybe that's rainwater, maybe that's water out of a pond, maybe that's just water I get somewhere. So I have backup resources of Clorox and fresh water, and I can always boil some if I need to as well. Last thing I want to tell you is put a tarp over your water. Don't leave your barrels of water out, especially if they're in your garage where people can drive by and see that you have barrels of water, because in the event of some kind of disaster or catastrophic apocalyptic event, they're going to know exactly where to go to get water. You know, we joke about the LDS people around Idaho here. There's a ton of LDS people who are preparing and storing water. Good for them. But they leave it out where everybody can see. And you know what? The neighbor doesn't have to prepare. All he has to do is keep an eye on what's going on in here. And when something bad happens, he can just come over and take the person's stuff. So make sure you cover it. Is this going to be, are they not going to know what's in there? Well, maybe, maybe not. But at least you're attempting to cover up stuff so that people don't know how much prep that you have. What the hell is in the water? Anyway, there you go. How to change your water out. I'm the Rhino for Survival Skills 101. Are you prepared to look forward?